Hello everyone and welcome to the Melbourne Traditionalists episode 48. I'm Mark Moncrieff from Upon Hope and I have with me David Hiscox from XYZ. How are you, David?
Very good, Mark. Pleasure to be here.
The satirical XYZ.
Yes, we're a extreme far-right extremist fake news organisation. I hope we've made that clear, just so people don't get confused.
No, definitely. I've always thought of you as a far-right extremist.
Yes.
Far-right.
Yeah, that's right.
Satire.
Yeah,
fake news side.
Yeah, extreme far-right extremists. That's what we are. Yeah, and we write nothing but lies.
Well, that's a bit of a shame. But apparently, there's been an article up on XYZ on Waleed Ali.
Yeah, it's
generated a bit of controversy.
I want to find out if it's possible to write something so outrageous that people will stop actually believing it, but I'm yet to find that line.
Yeah.
Not that I wrote it, but it was very funny. Like I wrote my own sort of satirical piece after we put up the Waleed one.
Yep.
And the headline of that was extreme far right extremists are exploiting the George Floyd murder to promote hate. And,
yes.
Yeah. And people still took that one seriously as well.
And I noticed that Maddie actually left a comment saying, "I can't tell whether this is satire or not."
Yeah. Well, the thing about that is as well.
But that's the thing, you know, and we have this problem with satire in general.
Yes.
Is it's so crazy out there.
Yes.
That so often we just say, "Hey, satire is dead."
Yes. I have often found that my satire pieces have come true several months later.
Yep.
There was one case where I got an idea for a satire piece, but found out that it had actually become true the year before.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Because I had this idea that I could write a piece how Katy Perry has disowned her former song, her song "I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It" because it's actually promoting heteronormative behaviour with the line "I kissed a girl and I liked it. I hope my boyfriend don't mind it."
Yep.
That's still promoting heteronormativity.
Yes. If you fall for that nonsense. Yes.
And I was about to write that article, but then I was like, hang on, and I looked it up, and she'd actually sort of disassociated herself from those lyrics the year before. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing about satire. Like the world has gone so completely crazy.
Yes.
That it does actually serve a purpose in that regard. It's a way of actually getting the truth through, because like people believe satire because the crazy stuff that we say that people have said sounds like something that they would say.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the Waleed piece, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that it sounds like something that he would say. He'd pretty it up.
Yes.
But it still
exactly.
Sounds like the crazy things that he would say.
He would still find a way to be an apologist for those girls who bashed those Africans who bashed the white girl.
Yeah.
But then you're able to put stuff in there which actually counters the narrative that way as well.
Yeah.
Because you're revealing their lies for what they are.
Yeah.
By just making it making their lie a little more blatant.
Yes.
Like, yes, when we're saying the things that we're saying that they said are not true, but we're just taking the weasel words out of what they say and presenting that for what it is. That's what satire is doing.
Yeah. And I don't always like it, but you have had a lot more satire pieces on XYZ.
Yes.
And sometimes I think, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And other times I go, But yeah, I guess that's the nature of the beast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that's true for written pieces, if you will, straight pieces.
Yes. Well, yeah, there's a team of guys that are just doing a great job putting through satire. And a few years ago, I'd stopped the satire. Like, I used to write a lot. But then I was like, okay, I want XYZ to be a serious news organisation.
Yep.
And now the world's gone crazy, and I'm like, I think this is the perfect time for it.
I have to say it's gone crazy.
Yeah, yes. And yeah, they've inspired me to write more myself, so I've been enjoying it.
No, that's great. Now, I wanted to mention something. I received a message from Port Phillip
Port Film Co-op.
Thank you.
Yes.
And he suggested to me, maybe you should change the times that you actually put things up online. Mm-hmm. So from last Wednesday, or maybe last Thursday, I have started to do that. I'm doing a bit of an experiment. So for the next month and a half or so, I'm going to be putting it up at various times. I'm going to change the times and see whether that actually does have any effect. So we'll, so if things aren't coming onto your feed at the normal time, that's why.
That's an interesting one. My gut would tell me that late afternoon, early evening would work best for posting a video. Maddie, I think, used to time his for like 5 or 6 p.m.
Yep.
Because what I find is that news articles go really well if you put them up anytime between about 6 and 8 p.m. because it gets the morning rush. People read stuff on their way to work. I don't know if people necessarily like to listen to videos in the morning. That's the way my mind works.
Yep.
But once work is done, then and you're in the evening, like people will watch a few videos on YouTube. That's what my assumptions lead me to think will work the best.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I don't know whether his assumption is true or not. It might very well be. But I thought I'll give it an experiment.
It's worth an A/B test.
And see. Yeah. And he suggested some times, but I don't know whether those times are good for me or not.
Oh, what times did he suggest?
He suggested about 9 a.m. And he suggested, I think, 6 to 8 p.m.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon go with both. It might even be worth it.
Well, I'm going to go through the day. I'm going to do a 24-hour clock
okay.
and then do it twice because I've got heaps of material to go up. So, it's not like I'm, running out of stuff.
Maybe just try the two. Like try 9 a.m. and then between.
No. I want to do a proper experiment.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the other thing that we're going to talk about is the XYZ Conference, which is starting tonight.
Yes, it's pretty exciting, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Now, tell us the background to the conference.
Okay, so the idea here is that we are hijacking the live streams. We're between 8 and 10 p.m. every night on the Uncuckables channel.
Yep.
We will have a speaker each night of the week, Monday to Friday. We've got 5 speakers. They speak for roughly...
So the Uncuckables is on YouTube?
On YouTube, yes. They speak for 50 minutes to an hour or so. Then we have about an hour worth of Q&A. And we've got panels set up to ask them questions, and we'll also field questions from the live chat audience. So it'll be good. It'll be like having it's a conference, but it's all online.
Yeah.
When we
and in the current environment, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to put my hand up and say that I'm a genius, because when we first came up with this idea for a conference, we put it a fair way into the future, and I made the judgment that Victoria, because Victoria is Victoria and is run by communists, would still be under lockdown, and I was right. So I'm a genius.
Yes.
Yeah. We've got 5 speakers. We've got Tom Sewell, who'll be speaking tonight, Monday, 29th of June. We've got James Fox Higgins, who'll be speaking tomorrow, Tuesday, the 30th of June. Mark Moncrieff, will be speaking on Wednesday, 1st of July.
Yep.
Adam Piggott will speak on Thursday, 2nd of July, and Blake Cottrell will speak on Friday, 3rd of July.
That's a pretty good lineup.
It's an absolute cracking lineup. I've got to say, like in advance, thank you for everybody for being involved. Thank you for everybody who I've asked to do stuff. It's been really great.
And of course, while there's the 5 speakers, there's also people who have been doing the technical stuff in the background to make sure it all works. Because it's an experiment. We haven't done this before. We've done live streams, but we're using a new location and we're using new equipment and so forth that we haven't been using before.
Yeah, that's the idea. Like I see it as a bit of a prototype, but it just the subject matter that's going to be discussed. It's pretty special. I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, basically, a few years ago when we had the foreign alt-lighters come here and do a number of different do a number of talks, and we had like lots and lots of people turn up to these venues, and we outnumbered Antifa, well and truly outnumbered them 10-1.
Yeah, this is the Milo talks and things like that.
Yeah, Milo. They didn't even bother turning up for Jordan Peterson. And also Stefan Molyneux and Lauren Southern. It was great, and it was great to see so many people who I had heard of or who had met online, to meet them in real life and make all those connections. But it also occurred to me, okay, we don't actually need foreigners to come here to Australia and tell us how to save our country.
Well, that's true, yeah.
We appreciate their efforts. But I thought, well, we should be putting this on ourselves. And as usual, when you come up with an idea and you think, somebody will sort that out. It's like, no, okay, it's on us.
That's right.
So this is our first crack. And so what we learn from here, we'll keep applying, and hopefully we can make this a regular thing, and it'll get bigger and bigger. Let's talk about the topics.
So let's match the names and the topics. Let's talk about Tom Sewell.
Okay, so Tom Sewell is going to be talking about. He's basically setting down the key tenets of the worldview. From what I understand, he'll be talking about just basically saying this is biological reality. This is how the natural order works. And if you go against these principles, you're going against nature. And if we want to have a movement and a nation that is successful and can thrive, then you have to follow these principles. And if you want to be like part of the movement, you have to understand these principles as well. So
well, that's right. There's a lot of people out there who are on our side, but they haven't really thought about the correct principles. They're a bit up in the air.
Yeah, that's it.
So I think that's a great topic.
Yeah. He's actually got a Telegram channel which is worth checking out, where he makes a point of just like trying to sort of set people in line, because like there are. I can't remember the specific example, but if you think of like how, say, like Norman conservatives will sort of react to like sort of accusations of we're racist. And they'll say, "Oh, we're not racist. The Democrats are the real racists." That's sort of like then like it's the sort of thing where he'll point out, look, racism is an anti-white racial slur.
That's right.
Like that's the sort of stuff that we talk about all the time, and just So he's very based. Like it's just.
I definitely agree. He's based.
Yes. But basically, understanding. Look, we don't have anything to be ashamed of or to apologize for being white people. Every people in the world have what they have because they conquered it. And if we want to survive, we've got to have that same attitude as they all do as well. They're simply
absolutely. It's the only healthy way to be is to be pro your own people.
Mind you, like I think Tom will express himself in a different way to what
He's a very good speaker.
He'll express himself differently to how I'm explaining his arguments.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically summarising.
No, I heard him at the Advance Australia rallies.
Right.
And he was an excellent speaker. At that time, I didn't know his name.
Yeah.
But I thought, he's really good.
Yeah.
So it's good that I know his name now,
yeah.
and that other people know his name,
Absolutely.
and that his message is getting out there. And I should point out that there is another Tom Sewell.
Yes.
And he is a black professor, economics professor. He's now in his 80s. He's retired, and he was on our side. He's very good, but he's not. This is not that Tom Sewell.
Yes, yeah, he definitely didn't grow up in Harlem. Yeah. Also, if you want to check out a really good speech by Tom, check out the speech that he gave in front of the Box Hill Police Station.
Yes.
The Box Hill Police Station raised the communist flag on the 70th anniversary of the.
So this is a suburban
Chinese
police station in
Yes.
Melbourne, and for the 50th anniversary of the forming of the People's Republic of China, they actually raised the Chinese Communist flag over the police station.
That's it. And Tom started his speech like he read a list of Anglo-Saxon, Anglo-Celtic names.
Yep.
And these names were on the War Memorial, just down the road, the Box Hill War Memorial. And he was pointing out, look, these guys, these are our kith and our kin. That's what he said.
Yep.
They fought for our country. They fought for our people. They fought for people with surnames like us.
Yeah.
Hiscox, Sewell, Moncrieff, they didn't fight for Chan or Muhammad or
what have you.
Yeah, what have you. Yeah.
Exactly. They fought
Perez,
for their own people.
They fought for their people. And in the decades since, we've basically thrown away everything that they fought for.
Yes. Yeah. Now, Tuesday night.
Yeah.
James Fox Higgins.
Yes. He's going to be talking about arts.
Now he's often on the Uncuckables.
Yes.
He's a regular.
Yeah,
not every week, but probably more weeks than not.
Yes, he was one of the founding members of the Uncuckables.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that.
He was there in the original. In the original
Incarnation,
yeah. I think I accidentally called him Jamie. And he said, "Us, James." Or I might have called him Jim. And then Maddie was like, "David." It's funny. Like when I first went over the topic with him, to me it almost seemed.
So sorry, what is the topic?
Okay, the topic is Western arts and culture.
Yep.
It almost seemed like a no-brainer. It's like, we'll talk about that because Western arts and culture are important to...
Because he's like you, he's a musician.
Yes, I actually did an interview with him. He interviewed me a couple of months ago.
I listened to that.
We talked a lot about music. Like, we went into details. It was a lot of fun. So we sort of talked about the music itself, and then we talked about its importance and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
When I came up with the topic, I was like, okay, just seems like a no-brainer. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Great. And then in the months since, there's been a new wave with increased intensity over previous years of the left and non-whites basically doing everything they can to destroy records that we existed.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think it's absolutely vital that he talks about the Western arts and culture. It's a massive thing.
Absolutely.
Because this is the important thing about white genocide. It's like they don't just want to kill us; they want to remove any evidence that we ever existed on.
That's right. The issue is the destruction of Western civilization.
Yeah.
And we are Western civilization.
Yeah. And that destruction, it's like about once we're gone, they want to remove any evidence that existed. But while we're still here, it's also about the psychological warfare.
Yeah. That's right. They want to destroy us at every level.
Yeah. So that when death comes, we'll welcome it.
Yes. Now, so he's. Do you know whether he's going to take a negative view or a positive view? Is he going to be, hey, this is what's happening, which I guess is the negative view, or is he going to be, this is what we should be doing, which is the positive view?
Oh, I don't know.
All right, that's fair. That's a fair answer.
Yeah.
I guess we don't want to know everything before the
I don't
talk.
want to spoil it.
Yeah. Wednesday.
Yes.
That's when your superstar's on.
Yeah, that's it. It's the peak, you know. It's all downhill from there. Yeah.
That's the day I'm speaking.
Yes.
So I guess I should speak to that.
Yeah.
You've asked me to speak on traditionalism and what is traditionalism.
Yes.
So I have done that a few weeks ago on this channel. So I'm going to speak about a lot of the things that I spoke about on that episode.
Good.
But I'm obviously going to expand on it because I have half an hour here and you want me to speak for 40, 50 minutes.
50, yeah, 50, 55.
So I'll also be talking about things like what type of political structure we want and the economic structure that we want and how that differs from liberalism and from socialism.
Yes. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. It's going to be an important one. What I like about the way that you operate, you understand, when you take in this group and that group and this group and that group, we all agree on about 90% of things. Yeah. Yeah. And we can spend a lot of time arguing over the other 10%. Yeah. We do.
We do.
But when it comes to what do we do and how do we do it, like that's where your focus is. It's that drive. It's like, okay, we're going forward and this is our enemy. Yeah.
Well, this will be a positive talk because it won't be really talking about our enemy. No. It will be talking about us and what we should do and what we believe and what we should be working towards.
Yeah, that's it. That's really vital, and that goes to the heart of the reason for putting on this conference. It's about establishing a platform. Yeah. It's about saying, okay, this is what we believe, and this is what we are going to do. Yep. And it's I think I've said it a few times. I'm a little biased, like I've sort of handpicked who I think should present that. But I think you, all of you guys, are really, really vital in establishing that platform.
Yeah. I think that it's good that we've got so many voices that are heading in the same direction. Yeah. Now Thursday night, Adam Pickett. Yeah. Who's I know you're a big fan of.
Yeah, massive fan. I still won't give away too much about
all right.
Yeah. He's going to talk about Christianity. Actually, I think I've sort of have hinted at this in previous sort of discussions because it was in 2017 when I was starting to really take the red pill that I started to understand that it wasn't just since World War II that things went wrong, and it wasn't just since the publication of Das Kapital that things went wrong. There's been a sickness inside Western, inside Christendom, inside European civilization, for centuries. And Adam is going to get to what he sees as the heart of the matter. That's all I'll give away.
All
right. Basically on Adam's he's been one of the biggest influences on me in the last 5 years. He's one of the reasons I'm still doing this. Like there was a point where I was, I think it was after Trump had won, and I was like, okay,
it's all over. Hey, we've won. There's no problem now.
Adam made it clear to me that I couldn't stop.
And that they're right there proves that you hadn't taken the red pill.
Oh yeah, yeah. He helped guide me through it. Quite a lot, which I'm very grateful. So, and I'm really grateful for him to putting in the effort to put together what he's put together for Thursday night. But this is also my way, one way that I can sort of repay him, because I think he deserves a platform. I really like the idea of people being able to listen to him for an hour. I think it'll be pretty special.
I haven't heard him, so it'll be interesting to.
Oh, okay. his podcasts are really worth listening.
Oh, I didn't know he did a podcast. I
Yeah.
know he's got a website pushing
Pushing Rubber Downhill.
Yep.
And he's got the Pushing Rubber podcast. He's actually a really great storyteller.
Yep.
It's really funny because like there was one time I was saying to him, I love the way that you structure your talks. It's like you sort of you set the scene really, really well, and then you build to this point, and then there's like about 30 seconds to a minute where you make that point, and then it all kind of dies off. And he's like, man, I don't even remember what I talk about. So like he's just naturally he's naturally a very good speaker, and he just structures the way that he talks very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to listening to something that he's put some real effort. He puts effort into it. Like looking forward to hearing something which he's just.
Well, usually
put
he gets to
higher
pick
level.
his topics, and you've picked his topic this time.
Oh, he picked it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I got told.
Yeah.
I got threatened. You will do this. Oh, you will do it. But Adam's your favourite. He can choose what he wants. Oh.
Fair face of making it talk.
And then, of course, Friday we have a superstar.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Blair Cottrell.
I'm pretty happy. Again, thank you to everybody being involved, and thank you to Blair for saying yes. Because I know he doesn't always say. He doesn't always. Like he's just busy.
Yeah. He's got a life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I really appreciate the time that he's set aside for it. Basically, he's going to be talking about the Black Lives Matter movement, and he'll have some advice for people, for young people, for young men. Which I think is really, really important, because Blair has been like through it. Like he has set up an organisation which had massive numbers of support.
But he had the Facebook group had over 100,000 people. On it,
which is massive.
Yeah.
And I make this point repeatedly. Like they didn't like slowly leak support as they gradually got more edgy. Like they just got shut down.
That's right. Right. And that's how they do it. They let you rise, and then when you're too big, they shut you down.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And they shut you down because you genuinely challenge the interests of the establishment. So, yeah, to have somebody of that.
But I thought we were the establishment, and the leftists were the ones who were fighting against the man.
It's the irony, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the funny thing. Like when we tell Black Lives Matter protesters, look, basically every single mainstream media outlet in the world, every corporation in the world, the whole of academia across the West.
The churches.
The churches, they all agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was
and if they didn't last week, now that they realise that they should, they do.
Yeah. Yet you still claim to be fighting against the establishment.
Yeah.
There have been massive protests in the Netherlands, of all places, for Black Lives Matter. Yet there was one protest by a bunch of boomers. By a bunch of Dutch boomers against the coronavirus restrictions. The police used water cannon, and I saw it that they actually had a cavalry charge.
Oh wow!
A literal cavalry charge. Like they were in a line. It was like watching the Rohirrim.
and that wasn't against Black Lives Matters. That was against the COVID.
That was against Dutch boomers.
Yeah. But when the anti-racists turn up, well, they get special treatment.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one place where they didn't get special treatment.
Where?
Ghana. In Africa, when you're black and everyone else is black,
yes.
The police go, no, no. And they attack them, and apparently the leaders all end up in jail. They're all in jail now.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I think Napoleon tried something like that.
Yeah, with cannons.
Yeah.
So Blair Cottrell, we've sort of got a little bit off track there, but he's coming in on Friday.
Yeah.
I've heard him speak. He's very good.
Yeah. Maddie and I have interviewed him on. I think it was in our first year.
Yeah.
We appreciated him making time then. It was interesting. It's one of the interviews that I've thought about a lot, and I've taken a few lessons on since then as well. Just something that almost seemed insignificant to me at the time, because I asked him towards the end, "Oh, who do you barrack for?" He said, "I don't follow football. he basically talked about how he likes to focus on things that he can do, like just and achieve personally, and doesn't take a sense of success from the achievements of others. And then in previous weeks, as the AFL have done all that kneeling at the start of the Black Lives Matter, like I was already kneeling at the start of the games for Black Lives Matter. I was already like very, very frustrated with the AFL and with Melbourne Football Club in particular. And so now I don't even pay attention to the scores.
Well, I must say I had that feeling today. I woke up and the alarm was on, and the news was on, and then it went to the sport, and I went, oh, there's sport, and then I went, oh, there's football on, and I was I've been really glad that it hasn't been there.
It's been hilarious because they're still trying to hype it. Like they're talking about rugby league coaches whose jobs are on the line because they had a loss.
And they're playing to empty stadiums.
They're playing to empty stadiums and nobody cares. They've just had 3 months off, and you're carrying on like it's the end of the world. It's an amazing mind reset. As I said in my article a couple of weeks ago, when the headline was "This is BS," and I talked about the fact that it's like I've been able to get over an addiction. Thanks to the coronavirus lockdown. I haven't looked back.
Yeah. No, I read that article. I thought it was quite good.
Cheers.
Yeah, and you're quite right. There's I actually haven't heard that many people saying, "Oh, I really miss the football."
Yeah, right.
In fact, I haven't heard anybody say it.
Yeah,
which is interesting because there's been practically no sport at all anywhere in the world. Maybe it's the people I'm hanging out with, but I haven't heard, even in, you go to the shops and, usually someone will say, oh, have you seen the footy or whatever? But I haven't heard anyone talk about it at all.
It's like football, it takes you on an emotional roller coaster. And especially as a Melbourne supporter, we haven't won a flag since 1964.
Yeah, it's a hard ride.
Yeah, my dad was 11. He tells me the story about it.
And
every time he tells me the story, I sort of probe him a little bit more for the story. It's amazing.
And there's the thing, in a healthy society, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
But we're not in a healthy society, and that's what makes it wrong.
Yeah, it should just be what we do on our weekends because we don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah. And I think that the professionalisation of sport has been a massive failure all around the world. I think it's just been... we should go back to amateur sport. When sport, as Blair said, it was about personal achievement,
Yeah. Well,
and about community spirit. Now, I mean, you just barrack for people just, for some obscure reason.
Yeah. It's funny.
Not because it's your home team.
John F. Kennedy actually, he made a dire prediction back in the good old days. He said he didn't want to see Americans become a society where it was mostly just people watching on the sidelines. He wanted Americans
to be participants.
Yeah,
and that's the problem with socialism. Really, people are watching on the sidelines. They don't get a chance to actually participate, and that's a problem with crony capitalism as well.
Yes,
it's exactly the same issue.
Yes,
we're all standing on the sidelines. We don't get a chance to participate. That's a very interesting quote.
If you're interested, then check out the athletics, the school fitness programs that were set up under John F. Kennedy. Can't remember the name of it right now. But they're worth checking out.
Now, I have one final thing that I want to say.
Yes.
Before we end up, remember I put out the Black Pill episode.
Yes.
And that actually got some people to say, oh, I can do this and I can do that and so forth. So some things have been happening in the background.
Right.
And one of those things is that all of these episodes that are on YouTube are now on a service called Podbean.
Good.
Which is a podcasting service.
Good.
So every episode.
Good. I'll make sure that we link to it on XYZ as well.
Yeah. And so things are happening, and that's my plan, is to get... Because I'm pretty sure YouTube is shadow banning me.
Oh, yeah.
And So, it's good to actually get out onto other platforms and let other people know that it's around. And also, if anything happens to this channel, well, you know that there's another channel out there.
Yeah, you must have a parachute.
Yeah, exactly. So the other plan is to go onto other media platforms as well. So podcast is the very first.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Now, David, where can people find out more of your thinking?
On the news when they report that we've put out a fake news article. Just type XYZ fake news into the Google search engine. I'm sure you'll find us. www.xyz.net.au.
And to find out more of my thinking, just go to Upon Hope, which is my blog, and you can read more there. Thank you, David.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And I will hopefully see you next week. Bye-bye.